butts, huh? But isn't that the truth? That, you know, I love that, because that's exactly what we're talking about. Joy today, and it's our butts that get in the way of the joy. And by butts, I mean everything that rolls around in our head, this rat race in our head of, but I can't do this, but what if this happens? What if this happens? And that's kind of what we're focusing on, is maybe looking at the joys in our life and letting go of all of the can't do's. I can't do this, I can't do that. Joy, I want to talk about what joy is and what it means to each and every one of us. Is it happiness? Is it contentment? Is it pleasure? Is it well-being? And I think they're all connected. It can be all of them. But real joy to me is this connection. It's this well-being that we have, that no matter the sorrows in life, whatever's going on in your life, we have this incredible connection with something higher. And that's what joy is. It's this knowing that it'll be okay. Everything will be okay, that we have this quality of God that gets us through. And I truly believe that. I think no matter what's going on in your life, if we can call upon that, and we can know that it's there, and sometimes it's scary. You know, I think you've heard that for the Buddhists say for 10,000 sorrows, there's 10,000 joys. And I think there's one saying that says that when one of them comes, the other one's waiting for you on your bed. You know, so when you're experiencing, you know, pleasure or joy, you know, what happens is then the sorrow comes. But here's the way I want to look at it. When you're in sorrow, when there's stuff going on in your life, always know that there's another side to it, you know, and it gets you through. You're not always going to be there. And I always think about that when stuff goes on in our life. And what I want to focus on today is that our default can be joy. You know, our default, where we are in our life, can be joy. And I know for many of you, it's true. You know, and we have a choice. We have a choice of where to spend our life. You know, what part of your life, what part of this piece of you do you want to focus on, the joys or the sorrows? And, you know, I think about my mom. I crack up because I remember this one day. Mom focused on sorrow. There was always stuff, you know, going on. And I remember at one time, something happened, and we started to laugh. Everybody, all the kids in the house, we started to laugh. And she was laughing, right? She got really present, because that's what we have to do, is get present. And all of a sudden, she went, oh, I forgot what I was worrying about. You know? And you know, she forgot, because she had to go back to the default, because it's always running in her head. There was something she had to worry about, something to think about. So for that moment, you know, she forgot about it. And so our job is to get present, you know, get out of the thoughts for a while, and to let joy come to us and focus on the joy in your heart. You know, to me, we talk so much about, and we see it on the news and we read books about everything that's happening, but the world has so much hope and love and joy in it, and we forget to focus and to put our energies there. And that's what I hope this message gets across today, is that we aren't really Pollyannas just trying to pretend there's nothing, that we know that life is all of it, but that our true joy has to come by focusing on what is inside of us, because that's where the joy is. I love the first reading, that I want a life that sizzles and pops. And I mean, I guess you could take that both ways, but what I'm talking about is a life of aliveness, right? And a life of aliveness isn't just always high, you know, it's all of it, right? It's all of it. Life is high, life is low, but that's what aliveness is. That's living. And we're here to live. And I believe that the truth is that what she said, that God gave us this gift, you know, and I'm glad that God gave a gift to somebody that wants to live it. Right? And we all, that's the intention here, is that we live our life to the fullest that we can. Doesn't mean we have to go and experience and do everything. It just means that we have to find the joy, our God-given joy inside. You know, Eckhart Tolle, he's the one that I always go to when I want to find something. I go to both Mark Nebo. I love him because he's a poet and he just makes me feel. And Eckhart Tolle makes me think about, wow, you know, and then I feel after that. But here's what Tolle says about joy, and I like this. He says, you know, when you say joy, when you say I enjoy doing this or that, it's really a misperception. It makes it appear that the joy comes from what you do, but that's not the case. Joy does not come from what you do. It flows into what you do, and thus into this world from deep within you. The misinterpretation that joy comes from what you do is normal, and it is also very dangerous, because it creates the belief that joy is something that can be derived from something else, such as an activity or a thing. You then look to the world to bring you joy and happiness, but you can't do that. This is why many people live in constant frustration. The world is not giving them what they think they need. See, this is so important for us to get, that we think the joy is out there. You know those little boys were singing? We think that that brought us joy. The truth is, if the joy wasn't here first, you wouldn't feel that, right? This is really profound. You've got to develop, you've got to cultivate the joy inside of you to feel the joy out there. So when you're seeing a sunset or when you're seeing something beautiful, when you feel this joy, it's because you've already cultivated it. It's inside of you. And the more that you cultivate it, and the more that you access that joy, the more you see it out there, the more joyful that your life is. To me, that is really cool. You know, I used to think, oh, there's just so many joyful things out there. The only reason is because they're in here, right? And if you can't find the joy out there, then you have to develop it in here first. That's the huge, huge, huge message of this day, is that the joy is within each and every one of us. And we have the choice and the freedom to choose it. No matter what's going on in your life, no matter what's happening, we get to do that. It's interesting, I'm working with a guy that's in prison right now by letter. He wrote to Common Ground and asked for something, and so I started to write to him. And we started to kind of talking about this in our letters. And I want to read you what I kind of wrote in the letter, because it's really profound to me, because I wrote it. You know? And I believe it, okay? And it's simple stuff. You all know this. I mean, it's just stuff you know, but I don't know if he knew. And he didn't know. Because what I told him, I said, you know, the power of the universe is within you. You are the only one that can create your joy. You are the only one that can change your life around. You can shame and you can blame everyone else for the circumstances that put you where you are, or you can look deep into your soul and let the power that made your beautiful soul, and it is beautiful, create your next steps. You have created your life and where you are. It is time to let your soul now be your guide. Rumi said, when you do things from your soul, it is like a river of joy moving through you. Oh, don't you love that? When you do things from your soul, that means coming from your soul, when you're talking from your soul, whatever you're doing. My invitation to you is to get quiet enough until you can hear, and you can hear the river run through it. And maybe higher power works better for you, is what he said. Do things, think things from this place within you, and your life will be a reflection of that joy. You will live a life that you love, and you and your loved ones are proud of. And I'm thinking that that's a message for all of us. That's a message for me, you know, when I wrote that to him. Because we all have the power inside of us to choose the joy. You know, and he's going through a lot of stuff in his life, and I've already encouraged him to actually feel it and to know that he's got to come to terms and to go through his pain. He can't just ignore it and push it down there and pretend there's joy. But that if he's going to change his life around, he's got to feel the joy inside. He's got to know that there's a quality of something so deep in him. And how does he do that? He lets go of all of the race in his head, the buts, all of the things, the unworthy feelings that he has. And we all need to do that. We all have to let go of all the negative stuff, because I'll tell you, negativity is like a viral infection. It's like a magnet. It just pulls us in a direction. And once you get started, it goes on and on and on until you can cut it off, until you can take a breath. And I love what Deepak Chopra says. You know, he said, when you're having all of these thoughts going on, and this inner judge is coming, and I can't do this, but this, and this is awful. He says, you know what you can do? Use the tool of stop. And I always like these tools. I use Bamit, you know. So he says, stop it, stop it. S, just stop. T, take 3 breaths and smile everywhere in your body. Smile everywhere in your body. O, observe your body. And then P, just proceed with love and kindness. So when stuff's going on and you can't stop the thoughts, take a breath. Our breath is our connection. It's our connection with God. I never got that. I never got it until probably a few years ago, after meditation and deep, work. And it's like our breath is our connection of letting go of everything that we can feel the intelligence move through us. What it does is it clears, right? It clears the energies and then lets the intelligence of God move through us and inform us. See, I totally believe that our essential nature is joy. It's pure consciousness. And pure consciousness is joy when we let go of all of the stuff in our life, of all of the thoughts and the buts. Life is meant to be joyful and it's meant to be free. And it's part of our natural state. It's always there. It's always there. It's like the sun's always shining no matter if it's cloudy. Our joy is always there no matter what's going on. And I want to give Judy a chance because we're running a little late, but I'm going to close with this story from Mark Nepo, which I love. And it's just about a cyclist. And he's getting all ready for the big race that he's going to have, and he's practiced, and he could hear the go as they start to take off, and he's all of a sudden winning, and he's in front of everybody else, and the wind is blowing, and he's really excited about it. And then all of a sudden, this big blue heron flies right in front of him, this beauty, and he just stops. He stops, and everybody goes in front of him. And later on, he's asked, and he didn't win the race, obviously, and he was asked, what cost you the race? What cost you the race? And he said, I didn't lose the race. I left it. And that's what I'm trying to get across today, is that maybe our life is a race. Our life is this race of thoughts. And it's time for us to leave that and see that joy of the red heron in front of us. So that's my prayer for us today, is that we touch that center of joy in us, that we leave the race and know that each one of us has this incredible power of joy. Thank you.